Hello there, singers and singerettes. This is Dave Trevor. Happy Friday. This is going to be Singing Tips 20. We're going to be talking about the head voice. So we don't have a very big lesson here, but there's definitely some good information. Let's just get right into this, okay? All right. So the last couple lessons that I've done here, if you guys check them out here in the boxy box, I did one on the chest voice and I did one on the mixed voice. But I'm going to give some definitions of these voices real quick so that we're all on the same page. Okay, guys? Cool. So the chest voice is defined as the lowest register, and it's the lowest register in the voice, and it sounds like it's coming out of the chest. You hear that right there? That's me using my chest voice. So there you have it. Okay. The next one is the mixed voice. The mixed voice is defined as the register or range of one's voice which connects the chest voice into the head voice. So it's this mixed sound that goes through, and it makes it so it doesn't sound like there's these audible, by audible I mean breaks in the voice that you can hear, like that kind of stuff when you hear people singing, or especially when you hear guys specifically going through puberty and stuff like that. They're like, I will never. That's them not utilizing their mixed voice, but it also has to do a lot to do with puberty. But even afterwards, you don't want to have that crack in your voice. And the mixed voice, understanding and utilizing how the mixed voice works makes it so that you don't have that. So, and I did it in the lesson here in the mixed voice with la, but I'll go ahead and do it again real quick just so we're all on the same page. So it goes like this: la 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 la. So you hear how it all sounded like one continuous voice. I'll do it again real quick. La 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 la. So yeah, simple. That is the mixed voice. And finally, we have definition of the head voice. What is the head voice? The head voice is defined as the highest of the voices of one's range or one's register. And I've heard people say, well, aren't head voice and falsetto the same because they both come from the same area? No, they're not. But I will say this. The head voice has what sounds like vibrations coming from the head. So if you do those kind of sounds and they feel like they're coming from the face, that means that you are using your head voice. So wow, I just did this. I hope that doesn't appear as one of my as one of my thumbs, because that'd be pretty funny. I'm like, yeah, just all right, where's Dave's face? So yeah, we'll just see what happens. Now I'm pretty sure there will be one, but I don't care. So whatever, it's fun. It's just one of those things. Okay, so this was a question I had, which was, well, the head voice and the falsetto are not the same thing. So if they're not the same thing, why do they get confused? Well, the reason they get confused is because they sound very similar. The falsetto has a more airy, more light, more feminine type sound in it though, whereas the head voice, it's a higher voice, but you can put a lot of power behind it. I'll demonstrate it with the song that I've used in previous lessons before. It's called, I think it's called Not Get Enough by Michael Jackson, but with head voice, it would sound like this. You know, girl, that I'm the one. Okay, that's the head voice. Here's how that same thing would sound, but with falsetto. You know, girl, that I'm the one. Hear how there's two different tones? I'll do it again. Head voice. You know, girl, that I'm the one. Okay, falsetto. You know, girl, that I'm the one. Okay, so falsetto has this more airy kind of like feminine sound, whereas head voice has this more robust, strong rather, sound to it. And that's why they get confused, because they're in the same kind of range area, but one sounds a little bit different. But you could see obviously how they could get confused. But everybody has a falsetto. Girls have a falsetto, guys have a falsetto, and everyone has a head voice. Girls have a head voice, guys have a head voice. All these voices that I'm talking about don't pertain to any particular gender. They're not male specific, they're not female specific, they're not transgender specific. Just making a little joke there. But yeah, so that's the point. That's the point that I wanted to make across. All right, moving on. Now, why is the head voice important for singing? Well, the reason the head voice is important for singing is if it's done right and you utilize it and you know how to practice with it and you know how to use it when you're singing, whether it's performance or practice, the first thing is that it can be less stressful on the voice overall. Because like I was saying earlier, with falsetto, you can't really put a lot of power there. You just can't. You can put a lot of where was I going with this? Oh yeah, you can put a lot of power with the head voice, but you can't put a lot of power with falsetto. So the reason why it's important is that if you do it right, it's less stressful on the voice. Like I'll do that one song that was from "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees. So here's how it would sound. They'll do it backwards this time. Here's how it would sound with falsetto. Ha 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 ha, staying alive, staying alive. Ha 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 ha. Now I'll do it with head voice. Ha 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 ha, staying alive, staying alive. Ha 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 ha, staying alive. So do you hear how their different sound is, basically? That's what I'm trying to shoot for. That's what I'm trying to explain. And if you notice when I did my falsetto, it sounded a little bit quavery. It sounded a little bit rocky, kind of like, you know, maybe he'll hit those notes, maybe he won't. That's the point I wanted to make. Okay, the next thing is you can show off your style. You can really show off your style. You can demonstrate, hey, I know what I'm doing here. I know exactly what I've got going on here. So we'll go ahead and use that Michael Jackson song again, and I'll do it with falsetto first and then the head voice next. So falsetto, it would sound like this. You know, girl, that I'm the one. Did you hear how airy, or did you notice how airy it sounds, okay? Now I'm going to do the head voice. You know, girl, that I'm the one. Now, did you hear how with the head voice, there not only was there more power, but I was able to add vibrato at certain spots. I was able to pull back and use dynamics at certain spots, you know, make it louder, make it quieter. That's because I know how to use the head voice. And it shows off your style. So that's another reason why the head voice is very, very important. Okay. Or, yeah, very, very important. That's why. Okay. The last thing is that it can increase one's range. And what I mean by that is that the falsetto has such a unique and different sound than all the voices that if you learn how to use your head voice, it actually makes it so that it sounds like you have a bigger range. Because if you were to go la 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 la, it doesn't necessarily sound like you have as big of a range as if you do this. La 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 la. See? And I went to higher notes because I was utilizing the head voice through, or sorry, the chest voice through the mixed voice into the head voice. And I didn't use my falsetto at all. But the falsetto is definitely good for purposes of just, you know, showing off. I mean, I talk about it again. It's in the boxy box right here. If you guys haven't taken a look already, just go ahead right here. This box right here. But not till after this lesson because, you know, I want to get through this and I want you guys to stick with me. Okay. So, yeah, it can increase one's range because it just makes it all sound like one voice. And another point on this was that people say, well, if falsetto and head voice aren't the same, how come it sounds like they're coming from the same place? Because they are coming from the same place. They come from the head. But the head voice, you can definitely feel it more. Like if you were to sing voices with the head voice, it feels like it's coming right under the chin and right on the soft palate, which is the thing in the back of the throat, right after the hard part of your roof of your mouth right here. And that, when you're singing that, you can feel it. You can feel those notes right there, right in that area. And because of that, that means that you're using the head voice and it's coming from your head. Yeah, it's just that simple. So there you go. So that's about it as far as the data and as far as the info and all that lovely jazz goes on the importance of what the head voice is, what it is. I don't dare say that any parts of the voice, whether I'm talking about the chest voice or the mixed voice or the head voice or even falsetto, that any of them are important than the other. But if you understand and know how to utilize all of these parts of the voice, you can become a good singer. It's just, there's just no easy way around it because now you know how all these different parts work. You can figure out, okay, with this part of the song, I need to use this voice. And with this part of the song, I need to use this voice. And that's the trick. That's the trick, is being able to utilize all these voices into one voice. Like I'm sure you've heard other singers say, oh, you know, I need to make it so that my voice sounds as one. This is what they're talking about. This is exactly what they're talking about. Okay, so I want to switch gears here for a second before I get into the question of the week. Yeah, so put down that sandwich. I want to talk to you seriously for a second. Did you put it down? Okay. That'd be funny. I bet someone is really eating a sandwich during this because who knows? You know, people watch videos of YouTube all the time. So if right there you were eating a sandwich, let me know in the comment section below because I'd like to see if it actually worked. So there you go. Oh, and also real quick, guys, if you have any other questions about the head voice, leave me one in the comment section below, okay? Because I'd love to answer it, and I've done lots of research on this, and as you guys know, I have been singing a long time, but if there's anything you think I might have missed, Again, leave me one in the comment section below. Okay, so this point I wanted to bring up was this point of the importance of passion. And passion is defined as like what drives you, what pushes you, like what's in your heart, like what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with your YouTube videos? What sort of hobbies like really intensely like you just love them, and you're like, oh man. The reason I'm bringing this up is I had an older gentleman write me an email, and in the email he said that he was so glad that I was doing what I was doing, and so to him, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying what I'm doing. I'm getting lots of response, guys, and I really appreciate the comments. I don't get a chance to answer them all the time because I do have another job and everything like that, but I do appreciate it, and I will get to you if I can. But thank you so much for the comments and the questions. I love them. I will answer all of them as soon as I can get to them. Okay, guys? And if I can't, I will definitely let you know in the future, hey, this is how I'm going to do it, or I'm going to be bulking them into this sort of thing, or I might even create an FAQ, a frequently asked questions things down the road, because that might be a very good thing, especially for singers who are either just getting into this or singers who haven't sang in a long time and want to get a refresher, that sort of thing. So the point I wanted to make, though, was that he let these people get to him. He said, I used to sing when I was in choir, blah, 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 and I haven't sang for years. The only time I ever sing now is in the car. And I felt kind of bad for the guy because he let the trolls are defined as those who like to make others feel bad in order to make themselves feel better. And there's lots of trolls on here, and I get some trolls every once in a while because I get dislikes on my videos. And yeah, but here's what you guys got to remember. The trolls, all they do is fuel you. All they do is push you. All they do is catapult you to doing better and bigger and greater things, because you have to realize that if you give up because of what they say you should do, you've lost and they've won. It's that simple. So don't let them push you. Don't let them, tell you you're not smart enough, you're not talented enough, you're not a good enough singer, you're not a good enough dancer. If you believe in your heart of hearts that you know what you're doing, do it and strive for it and learn all the aspects and all the different areas and practice as much as you possibly can to get what you really want to achieve. So yeah, I know that was kind of long-winded, but I did want to say, that was what I would suggest as far as, letting the trolls get to you, okay? So I had a question of the week, and let's see if I can pull it up real quick, because my phone's been acting kind of strange lately. It just has. So let's see here. Okay. Give me just a second. Nothing like those awkward silences, huh, guys? Okay. There it is. Okay. And we're doing okay on time. So the question was this. Hi, I really like your videos. They're helpful and simple enough to follow, even though English isn't my first language. Whoops, there's me talking right there. But anyways, I have a question. I like to play my guitar when I'm singing, and it's not always easy to stay in pitch and concentrate on the singing technique while accompanying myself with the instruments. So, do you know of any tips, exercises that would help me to sing properly while playing? I know that practice helps a lot, but if there's a trick that could help, I'd like to try it out. This is from Fonestenia. Hope I didn't badger that too much. So, Fonestenia, thank you so much for the question. My answer to that is tap your foot. With whatever you're singing, tap your foot. So like if you're singing like, I was going down to the city and I wanted to go there. I'm just making up words and making up a song. Or if it's faster, like, don't you know, yeah, you don't know, you gonna take me, you gonna take me. It might sound hard, but that was one trick that I learned because I play guitar a little bit, and it really helps me stay focused and stay on pitch and stay with what I'm doing. It actually really helps me just focus on everything all overall. So that would be my suggestion. It's not a very long answer, but try that, see if it works. If you guys out there have any other tips for this person who asked this question, leave me one in the comment section below, because this would be a great way to open it up. So do you guys know of any other tips to help when you're singing and playing an instrument to stay on pitch? So if you guys do, leave one in the comment section below. Okie doke. All right, so yeah, that's about it for this lesson. Next lesson, we're going to be talking about the diaphragm. How do you breathe? Tricks to breathe correctly and more. So yeah, that's about it. If you guys haven't already, subscribe. You got the big yellow button up top, the big yellow button at the bottom, and yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Take care.